Who knew the Mario and the gang were such hardcore partiers? But this time they're hosting the party on the Nintendo 3DS in the form of Mario Party Island Tour. Now though the Mario Party series goes way back, the more recent games have tried to switch up the formula with varying degrees of success, and Island Tour might just be the most different one yet. Sure, you're still mostly rolling dice and playing minigames across a variety of boards, but this time each of the 7 boards actually play quite differently from the rest, even if the goal is often just to reach the end. Take the Perilous Palace Path board for example, which is probably the most conventional of the bunch. In it, you'll play minigames between rounds in order to earn bonus dice that'll help you in your goal to be the first to the end. By comparison, in the Bonsai Bill's Mad Mountain board, although the goal is still to make it to the end, this time you'll play a dangerous game of cat and mouse against a giant bullet Bill, because if you're caught in his path when he randomly fires, you'll be sent back to the start. Now the key thing is, you can avoid him by ducking into an alcove, but it'll come at the expense of forward momentum. Now the game really switches things up in Kamek's Carpet Ride, as this one doesn't use dice at all. Instead, you're dealt cards, which you can then play however you wish to choose exactly how many spaces you move. And sometimes the goal isn't even to reach the end at all, such as in the Star-Crossed Skyway board where whoever has the most stars at the end wins, which is dependent on winning minigames and hitting specific spots on the board. And there's still more boards I haven't touched on, but helpfully the game provides a breakdown of the relative amount of luck, skill, and minigames involved in each board, which can help first-timers figure out which board game might appeal to them most. With that said, I did find that most of the boards are still far too dependent on luck. Yeah, I realize luck is an inherent part of almost any board game, but the scale still tips a bit too far in favor of luck at the expense of strategy for my taste. Such as in Perilous Palace Path, where the board game itself is entirely luck-based, outside of the rare item you'll occasionally have the option to use. The only real influencing factor you have is in your actual minigame performance, which basically negates the need for the board game portion at all. Conversely, in the games that actually are more dependent on strategy, such as Kamek's Carpet Ride, the games often end in just a few rounds, which kinda limits your ability to strategize much. Between these two problems, I had trouble getting invested in the outcome of any of the board games. I mean, I'm a competitive guy, but even when I won here, I was like, oh, I won. Because I didn't really have to work for it. With that being said, the board games aren't bad per se, they're just inoffensive, mostly existing as an excuse for the minigames. And thankfully, in that regard, the minigames here are probably the best I've seen from Nintendo these last few years, easily beating last month's Wii Party U in terms of fun. Take the Mario Kart-like No Traction Action one, for instance, which has you swerving wildly around corners in a race to the end. The loose controls and bumper car-like physics make this one a lot of fun to play. Then there's Trounce and Bounce, which has you competing with other skydivers in order to land on a bouncy platform below to avoid a painful fate. And some of the games even make use of the 3DS's unique features like point and shoot, where you'll move the 3DS like a camera in order to take candid shots of some hard to find villagers. Of course, there are still a few stinkers among the 80+ here, like Garden of Eden, which has you choosing plants in the hopes that it doesn't randomly turn into a piranha plant and eat you, which is an outcome you have absolutely no control over. But even still, the collection here is pretty well rounded, with quite a bit of diversity. And there are even some bonus AR games included here too, such as one that has you scrambling up a sinking tower. Unfortunately, they're plagued by poor frame rates, leaving them as little more than a novelty. Overall, Mario Party Island Tour is a decent party game. I found both the board games and minigames to be a step up from last year's Mario Party 9 and this year's Wii Party U. And although the board games aren't particularly engaging, I did have some fun with them. And I haven't even mentioned the best part about Mario Party Island Tour, which is that the entire experience supports download play, meaning you only need one copy of the game in order to play with your friends, as long as they have their own 3DS of course. Taken all together, I'm giving Mario Party Island Tour's multiplayer mode 3.5 stars out of 5. It's one of the better party games from Nintendo in recent years, even if it still can't quite live up to the benchmark set by the first 3 Mario Party games all those years ago. Now I should mention that the game, with the exception of a single board, is also entirely playable in single player too, with CPU opponents filling in for the lack of human ones. But of course, the game was designed with human players in mind, so this feels a little bit lacking, if not boring most of the time. With that said, it's not horrible, and the game even includes a single player adventure mode in the form of Bowser's Tower, though it's little more than a dolled up minigame playlist and will only take a couple of hours to fully complete. As such, I'm giving the single player 2.5 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching, and make sure to keep an eye on GameXplain.com for more reviews and other things gaming too.